Hello, everybody. My name is Master Chen.
I'm Vic.
And I'm Richard Satchel.
And you're either watching or listening to episode 202 of Greynoise, the podcast where let's see what happens today. We are here live at the Sin Shop. It is Friday night at 7:30, so the address is 1075 American Pacific Drive, Suite C in Henderson, Nevada. We are still the Las Vegas Valley Hackerspace. Go to sinshop.org for information on the shop and what we do here. Go to meetup.com/SinShop for our classes and what's coming up in the near future. In fact, we do have a Pi Day apparently on Saturday, because I totally knew about this. Is it this Saturday? It is this Saturday, yeah? I think so. Yes, okay, cool. So Pi Day tomorrow, if you're watching this.
No, 27th.
Oh, on the 27th. Okay, so Pi Day on the 27th. And if you're watching this or listening to this on the 28th, it was a great event. Totally great event.
Yeah, oh, you should have been
Yeah,
there.
it was-
That was crazy.
It was awesome.
He had a lampshade on his head, everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, come see that, yeah.
Oh, yeah,
I think that's going to happen tonight, too. And for information on us as a podcast, go to Greynoise, GREYNOI.se. Do you guys have any other announcements that I might have forgotten?
Why, as a matter of fact, I do. Tisano from I3 up in beautiful downtown Detroit, Michigan.
Hello, Detroit.
They have a giveaway. He has a giveaway going on for Tusano, and I3 will also have the MEDC grant going live July the 8th. We should have links later on in the live stream channel.
Cool. Awesome.
Dang Skippy.
Thank you. Mr. Rick.
What does that mean?
Dang Skippy?
No. What's the giveaway?
Oh, what's the MEDC grant? I will have links that will probably explain that. I was just handed this 30 seconds
He was like
ago.
handed the paper and he's got like the earpiece in his ear and everything. Yeah, that's
This just in.
News.
so. All right, so let's start off by talking about rejection, actually. I think for the past 2 or 3 weeks, I think everybody here and people who maybe are not here, guys kept asking me, are you accepted at DEF CON? Are you going to DEF CON? Are you speaking at DEF CON? Are you going to be on stage? And the answer now is officially no. At least not DEF CON.
You're not going to DEF CON?
No, I'm definitely going to DEF CON.
okay.
I'm not going to be on stage at DEF CON. No.
I'm not going because you guys suck.
No,
That's
no,
not
no,
true.
no,
That's not true at all.
No, but so this is only DEF CON proper now, by the way. So I'm still waiting on word from the Recon Village.
Okay.
And I'm still waiting on word from the DC Sky Talks, but those don't close officially until tomorrow, or the second round for Sky Talks closes tomorrow. But yeah, so DEF CON proper is out for me this year, but it's all right. So, and I wanted to talk about that because rejection is a very important thing when it comes to everything. I would say, what was it, Mr. Vic, 3 weeks ago? Was it 3 weeks ago?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I had a conversation with somebody who was, this person has their own company, and they frequent the shop a lot. And so I was talking about social media presence. And, when I am sharing things on social media, I share the acceptance letters, I share the good stuff, I share the congratulatory stuff, I share all the good, positive stuff. But I also share the rejection letters.
You are keeping it 100, as the kids say.
Yeah, and that's exactly where that conversation went. And so the person that I was talking to was wondering, like, oh, why do you post the negative stuff? And I said, because it's more real, right? Like, how many Instagram models do you know, like, where you're like, I don't think
Zero.
you're... Well, exactly, but you're like, those big tits and that ass, I don't think that's actually real. I don't think you're constantly turned up 100%. And, I mean, I could be wrong, but my point is,
Turned up.
Turned up. Yeah,
Turnt.
It's what the kids say nowadays, I think. I think they're still saying that.
Maybe.
Or I don't know. I could still be like 2 years behind. In any case. So I was having...
2
Yeah,
years.
I'm 2 years. I'm 2
I
years
was
behind.
thinking that, but I was like,
Just a
yeah.
Thanks. Thank you. We're getting live fact check here from the audience. No, but so...
2.
The reason why I want to bring this up, though, is because we had this conversation about, do you post the bad stuff on social media, too? Now, me personally, I do, at least when it comes to my personal business and how I do things, because I feel like it makes you more real. People see you as more human than just some, autonomous positive news junkie. And so, yeah, I post the good and the bad. And it's actually led to good relationships with people, and just people see me as genuine. When they see me, when they meet me in person, they know that, like, what is it, WYSIWYG? What you see is what you get?
WYSIWYG.
Yeah, WYSIWYG. They know who I am. And so...
What you see is what you get.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Well, yeah, WYSIWYG. So I'm not hurt by it at all. And in fact, the last time I spoke at DEF CON proper was DEF CON 24. So this isn't actually new to me. It's kind of par for the course. Now I'm holding my butthole for DEF CON Sky Talks. I'm really hoping.
You just maybe jim the camera.
Yeah, that's right.
You're holding.
Well, look, now we know what alcohol does to me.
That's Saki talking.
I haven't even taken a
That
sip
is
of that.
definitely Saki talking. Keep this man away from
Okay,
tequila.
okay,
Over there, Saki talking.
Okay. What I'm saying, though, is I'm really waiting for DEF CON Sky Talks. I should know hopefully by the end of this weekend, but they don't close their call for papers until tomorrow. I believe tomorrow at midnight, so it might be later this week. So I submitted 2 papers to Sky Talks and 1 paper to the Recon Village. And both of those papers I did not submit to DEF CON. And when I submitted to DEF CON, I did say it was way more of a philosophical talk. What I wanted to do was talk about martial arts and hacking together as I see it, because I've been hacking just as long as I've been doing martial arts, and I thought it was a really good talk about kind of blending the worlds together. Now, I even said in the submission, I understand that this is absolutely not a technical talk. And so, I totally understand if you're...
And so they were like, great, this is a technical conference, and bye.
Yeah, pretty much. And you know what? That could be the case.
Yeah.
It's fine,
Yeah.
but it's something that I wanted to try.
So you mixed
put it
the
out
2
there.
together?
Yeah.
So you put on put the belt on,
No. But I
breathing
Strap a
exercise.
Commodore pet on your chest.
Right.
Strap a Commodore pet on your chest. There you go.
I don't want to put too many details out there about it, because maybe
Maybe.
I could talk about it somewhere else.
Gotcha.
But I still think it's a valuable talk. So maybe we can go with it somewhere else. But my point is, when I was talking to this individual 3 weeks ago, he was kind of perplexed, and then actually the next day he texted me and thanked me for having that conversation, because I think maybe I changed his mind a little bit. Because what he was doing is he was only posting social media blurbs when he successfully, let's say, got this going, or when he successfully figured out how to build this. And while that's all great, and you can do whatever you want to do on social media, I just have a different philosophy when it comes to how to promote. I feel like being more real is to me, it's more valuable, I think.
Unless your target is to just ponies and puppies, right?
I mean, yeah.
So, and this is actually a point that someone just brought up in the live stream channel. One thing to note, they say only showing the good online and showing both good and bad to be transparent are still both brands. And that's true. Like, because you can say, if you're in a position where you're already famous, then yeah, show the good and show the bad, because then you're like, oh, hey, look I'm more humble and stuff. Like Will Smith is a good example of that. His YouTube channel is actually pretty good.
I've never seen his channel.
It's not bad. It's very much a blog, and it's very much him being Will Smith, and that's about it. I've only watched like a few episodes of it, but anyway, transparently holding your butthole woman. But
Hey man, I say some things sometimes, you just gotta let it go.
yeah, fair enough.
Oh, that's
So-
gonna be another joke. Go ahead.
Right there.
If you say so.
Yeah. But I see what they're saying. Both of those 2 things are brands, and it depends on how you want to project yourself. For instance, if you're just starting out, maybe only pushing the good stuff is a good strategy. It just depends on your particular brand and how you want to present yourself.
Also, if you're a sympathetic character or not.
sympathetic character.
Well,
Like,
if you're not that sympathetic, then you shouldn't actually. People won't have the same reaction to your negative that they do your positive.
Oh, in other words, if you're not sympathetic to others,
Yeah.
then they're just going to pounce on you whenever you say anything negative.
Right. So
That's true.
if you're not a sympathetic person, then you're probably not going to have the same response showing your failures that you would.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah.
But see, now I wonder if for whatever reason, 3 years down the line, maybe somebody gets offended by some offhand tweet that I make, because that's probably about to happen, and they're like, they start scraping my social media and say, "Hey, that one time, fuck you, man." I'm like, whoa, 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 cancel culture, right?
Don't you have the auto delete after 60 days?
Yeah, Vic, I totally do.
No, he doesn't.
OPSEC, man, I totally don't. I don't.
No, you don't.
I have pictures. I have pictures from like way back.
I didn't take pictures in the way back.
You have photographic evidence. That's
Yeah.
right. They're not pictures.
Yeah.
But I mean, okay, so when it comes to like posting pictures on Instagram or whatever, like, I guess people would tend to want to share more of the positive stuff anyway, right? Like you have pictures of dogs, pictures of like when I got my latest black belt, or positive things. But I just feel like having the not so great things is just, I don't know.
I get what you're saying. Yeah. I feel like Instagram is generally speaking more positive. I'm not on it personally because I just got off of Facebook and Twitter and all.
Well, I know
things.
Twitter is not positive really at all. Like,
Yeah.
as I scroll through that shit, it's news, bad news, and then people's bad reactions to both.
Oh, Jesus.
Like,
Yeah.
holy shit, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I scroll through Twitter and I'm like, ugh.
Yeah, I just turn off replies, and I got it pretty well cordoned off to the people I think are going to make reasonable
Yeah.
presentations.
Yes.
fair.
And
Yeah.
I don't really care what anybody says back to it.
Yeah. Well, that's
And-
what do you call it? A low data diet,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's very important, especially in today's age.
Yes.
And when it comes to like notifications on Twitter, I have all notifications off except for the people that I'm following. Like, for instance, Nikita, because she's the one who's
Sure.
posting.
Yeah, she's the
Defcon
one who
news,
said,
right?
no chin today.
Yeah, no Chen this year. But also, I'm still following DC Sky Talks because I'm waiting for their rejection letter.
Sure, yeah, right.
No, so,
Yeah, depending on the time of year, what I'm doing, I turn the notifications. I change them a little bit. This time of year, I start turning on the more DEFCON people, more people I follow.
yeah, we'll probably need to turn on Telefreak and all those,
so,
yeah.
some of those I leave on year round.
Mm-hmm.
They're not heavily used, but it's interesting what comes out of them.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, replies and stuff like that, I just turn off because I don't care.
Yeah.
You can shout into the cave all you want. I'm not going to hear you.
Yep. Very important stuff. Low data diet.
Yes.
So anyway, that was my news for the week. That's all I wanted to say, really.
Man, I know over the next 2 years, I'm going to get my ass back on Facebook. I don't want to. I'm going
Wait, you're going to?
I know I'm going
Why?
to. I won't be able to resist.
Why?
Oh yeah, election's coming up, eh?
That's the one.
Oh, yeah, you're gonna be on it. You're gonna be on it just in time for Libra, which is actually our next topic.
All right. Yeah, here.
So
yeah, let's move forward.
Libra is the new cryptocurrency introduced by Facebook. So
I'm sure this will go well.
yeah, thoughts on this, you guys? Basically, now Facebook has everything about you, and now if you want to give them your money or your equivalent to, good luck. What do you guys think this means? What are the implications?
Yeah, get banned from Facebook, can't spend your dough.
See, and that's the fucking scary thing, right? Yeah.
That's terrible.
If you don't have a Facebook account, you can't spend. So, I mean, I don't think this will happen. I could be fucking wrong. But if Libra ever became like let's say the default world currency, like, fuck, you have to have a Facebook account in order to spend money. Atrocious.
That's no good.
No, not at all. So
Now we just need to work 666 into there somehow.
Oh,
and then
they can do it.
I'm sure.
Don't start it.
Yeah.
Don't start it. That's already there.
So does anybody know what the initial coin offering was for this or ICO?
Has that happened?
Yeah, I think it was released, today or yesterday? Hold on, let me see. I got this article. Okay, so this comes to us from The Verge. Is that a good news source? I don't know. Okay, I'm getting a lot of ads. Anyway, everything you need to know about Libra, Facebook's ambitious cryptocurrency. Let's see. Facebook is planning to launch the cryptocurrency it hopes will transform the global economy. Oh, fuck.
Oh, good.
Yeah, so it's already in the first sentence.
And I'm sure they'll do a great job.
Yeah. The currency named Libra is being developed by Facebook, but the company intends to share the control with a consortium of organizations, including...
Doesn't it sound nice and,
It sounds oligarchish. Oligarchish.
That's really
The
popular
consortium. That's like a villain from a Bond.
Yeah, it's like Spectre, right?
The consortium.
right now.
Yeah.
Consortium.
Yeah. Oh shit. Anyway, at launch, you'll be able to spend Libra inside of Facebook Messenger and WhatsApp, with it mostly meant to be used for intermediary trading in traditional currencies.
Oh.
That's how it starts.
I think it's made for tipping on Instagram.
Tipping for tipping for pictures of
Candid photos.
yeah, of
wink,
things.
wink, nudge,
Yeah.
nudge.
Exactly.
Winks as good as a nudge to a blind
Yeah,
man.
do
Hey,
you-
we have a community mic.
Well, really quick, do you guys
Oh,
think
yeah.
do you guys think this is going to go anywhere?
The Bank of England has jumped behind this and actually said that if it can meet regulatory demands, it has a genuine use case.
Wow. All right, let's go to community mic then.
Pretty big if there, but yeah.
So, as a
Eat the mic.
monetary economics dude in school, I enjoy when the money is stable. That hasn't been other currencies. This consortium basically has a $10 million buy-in price. So there's going to be 100 people to begin, 100 companies to begin with. And that $1 billion is going to be used to actually back this currency as a reserve and stabilize the currency. So hopefully it doesn't go up and down like other cryptocurrencies do. This would increase adoption and make it something that actual market vendors would actually like to do their business in, as opposed to maybe losing your shirt one day, maybe making money. The problem is that after reading the white paper, there's absolutely no detail on how they're going to actually manage that consortium, how they're going to move it onto the blockchain and make that kind of a permissionless management model. They actually leave that as an open problem. Now, a lot of times things don't go past the white paper on this.
So let me ask you a question about that. Is like no one's throwing $100 million on the table. They're going to finance this.
Well,
You
it's
know, because
$10 million bucks. But
10 million. Nobody's going to throw 10 million on there, even a big corporation. They're going to finance it.
right.
And so that means somebody out there is going to make money off of this.
Return
So
on
this is
investment.
Which
already a
means that
fractional
they're-
reserve.
So,
Yes.
so if I understand how this coin will probably work, is that they're going to purchase all the coins and then basically lend those coins to the people who use them on Facebook.
That's kind of how reserve backing works. The other
That's what I
issue,
thought.
there's two more things I want to mention. One is that compared to Bitcoin's 4 transactions a second, the initial transaction rate of 1,000 transactions a second is huge. It's gonna be a real thing that can compete with Visa and MasterCard and PayPal. And in fact, Visa, MasterCard, and PayPal are all on that consortium. The problem is that when more people get on the consortium, the performance of that blockchain is going to go down, and they left that out of the white paper entirely as well.
Well, just taking VisaNet, I think, is in excess of 1,000 transactions.
4,267 or so,
Yeah, it's a way over 1,000 transactions
with
per
a
second now.
max cap of like 45,000. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you are stepping into something that's a huge choke point for your business, why would you do that?
Unless you thought that it's the future and that you're going to lose in a long-term position anyways.
Say that again slowly.
Unless you thought that you're going to lose in a long-term position against cryptocurrencies. Which
So
is,
what, they're planning
So-
on losing against Bitcoin?
So are
no,
they,
no. It's just kind of like if you can't beat them, join them and try to regulate them.
Okay.
So you can expect that they're going to be playing moves to kind of, they're going to be making moves in this currency to increase the value of their bottom line.
So transactions per second is really the tripping point for them. Is there anything out there that says that somebody's building a system that can increase that transaction rate?
As far as I know, transaction rates per second have been a big problem for any kind of Sybil-resistant decentralized cryptocurrency. That's kind of their weakness point in general.
Yeah. So, but are these companies who are possibly investing in such a thing? Is someone building something out there that would alleviate this?
As far as I can tell, this is it. They're trying to be that.
So there's the company that can do 45,000 transactions per second is trying to go towards a technology that's only at 1,000 transactions per second, and there's really no way to leverage more transactions per second.
That's So there is ways you can leverage so that's at a 40 megabits a second between actual nodes.
So because of that gap, we're talking about a bottleneck and like a backlog of transactions then, yeah?
Yeah, and when that happens, you end up with like what happened on Bitcoin, where your transactions take a day to go through. That happened during the Bitcoin bubble last year. But I don't think that's going to be a problem with this, because they're able to clear so many transactions and so many more transactions than any other cryptocurrency. I think it's going to grow.
But even with their amount of clearing, you said that there's still going to be a backlog, right?
That's only like the backlog that we've seen has been on Bitcoin, which, as I've said, has only 4 transactions a second. That's I don't think that they're going to have a backlog in the beginning, and if they keep the number of nodes down, like from say 100 to 1,000 partners in this consortium, which keeps the control of the consortium kind of centralized, and is evil. But if they do that, and if they increase the node transmission rate to about a gigabit between nodes, it could increase about a factor of 100 in transaction rate.
So 10,000 transactions.
Yeah.
Per second.
No.
Per second.
A factor of 100.
Okay.
So up to
A million.
100,000 transactions a second.
That's a lot.
Yeah. So they could do that just by deploying gigabit scale communications between these nodes and making sure that nobody else gets in on these.
Okay,
on
so-
these nodes.
So how are you going to? So even at gigabit speeds, between here in Europe and here in Asia, let's just putting everybody together, that's a significant time frame, even at gigabit speeds.
I think so. We're not, and what bothers me is that this higher level kind of meta conversation did not happen at all in the white paper.
Is this why Elon Musk is making the star, all the satellites, so he can have instantaneous communication to be able to?
Oh shit!
He's
Yeah,
gonna-
that's.
I think he's going to put his consciousness up there.
Okay, so for those who don't know about like Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, what we're talking about here is basically the speed at which a wire transfer can happen when it comes to like exchanging money from let's say my hand to Vic's hand. We're talking about thousands of transactions per second. At least that's the calculations that we have right now. Where Bitcoin, you can have 4 transactions per second. We're talking about thousands now.
Yeah, and that's across the entire user base.
Right.
And it's really because of the work that has to be done to be able to ensure trust, because of the encryption that's in the environment and on the coins. When we hand each other money, we have the trust because it's money.
Right.
And so the currency is a little bit different.
Right. And okay, so it's going to be like every other cryptocurrency on a blockchain that everybody else can verify. And so I'm assuming, one, that it's decentralized.
Nope.
I bet we're never going to be able to verify this blockchain.
You're probably right.
You can't see the blockchain unless you're one of the partners.
Yeah.
Unless you're part of the consortium.
Yep.
Consortium. See, there is that evil word again.
Consortium.
So, for comparison's sake, how many transactions a second can your normal credit card company do?
Well, he's
About 4,000.
About
4,000.
No,
That-
that is what they do in fact do.
Yeah.
They can do
Right.
more. They
I-
have engineered, and that's because they have a centralized control system, so
Sure.
they can duplicate their servers and they can trust their duplicate servers.
Of course. Okay.
Right,
Gotcha.
but you can't have duplicate servers on Bitcoin.
Yeah, not in that kind of network.
So, what would it look like to the end user if it takes like 2 extra seconds or whatever
Well,
to
like-
get your queue to
Well,
get your place in line?
Yeah, well, all the developers will tell you it's transparent.
I have a feel.
Yes, he's
I
looking
don't-
sideways.
I don't
He's like,
believe
I
you.
don't believe you. Oh, okay, let's take another community mic.
So actually, Satchel just brought up one of the points I was about to bring up. Is the key thing is, like you said, no one except for the consortium is going to be able to see the blockchain, meaning they can just tell your account, yeah, you have more money, even if it doesn't at the time, and who's going to know? Like, because the biggest thing is this is going to be for consumers.
Mhm.
Let's be realistic, because that's what Facebook knows. That's its target audience, consumers, not enthusiasts, not people who actually care about Bitcoin.
And understand the technology. This is
Exactly.
where Doxy would come in and say, nobody gives a fuck about the technology.
Exactly. And the reason for that is simple.
Yeah.
So one of the things about the credit card companies, I mean, we live in Vegas. We've seen it here. I'm assuming it's happening in other parts of the country. Places are pulling contracts with various, like Visa has a lot of their credit card being pulled from like whatever contracts, meaning those stores no longer process Visa cards.
Really?
If they're credits.
Oh wow.
Yeah, Smith's is the big one. And the biggest thing is I know Smith's is actually owned by another company. So I'm assuming their other store.
Kroger,
Yeah,
yeah.
Kroger. I'm assuming Kroger's doing that with their other like chains that they own.
Why are they doing that?
Costs
It's more expensive per transaction.
just
Well-
costing too much
Yeah, so why don't they charge more for credit card sales?
because it charges the customer more. It's pretty much someone in their analyst said, "Hey, just dropping this will be less cost effective."
Right.
Because
yeah.
the biggest
I
thing
guess.
is most, most people look in their wallet and they see that they actually have cards from different credit card processors,
Mhm.
even if they're all through the same bank. Like I have 2 credit cards through my bank, different, one MasterCard, one Visa.
Mhm.
So, and that's probably the biggest reason why banks do this is to spread it out and also to get more money from these companies. But the biggest thing I want to go back to is the whole consumer thing.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, like paying each other, who no one's going to really, like most people won't notice if their transactions are a couple seconds. And that's the biggest thing is, like you said, Bitcoin started at 4 transactions. That's not too hard to get a backlog. Starting at 1,000 with probably a slow adoption rate, you could be looking at a couple years before a backlog even becomes evident, let alone actually happens.
Mm.
And that could be long enough for them to get what they need out of this and move on to the next thing.
Yeah.
Individuals won't notice the transaction time because you're right, because their transactions will be pseudo approved. So you will go in and I would like to buy a Slurpee, please. Here's my Facebook coin.
That hasn't happened in a while.
Yeah. That's been a little bit.
And you'll be approved and you'll walk out with your Slurpee. You'll never see any of that. In 2010, VisaNet made a change that accelerated the amount of time between the time a transaction happened until the company who, like your 7-Eleven who bought the Slurpee actually was in their account. From something like, I think it was like 200 and some hours down to like 36 hours. And the difference for Fortune 500 companies was in the tens of millions of dollars in transactions that was in the fly. And that was huge. And going the opposite direction of this would be a significant hit to every company in the world.
And I mean, that may be one of the reasons why Visa and the other companies is for those people who need high rates. They have a back end that
Yep.
they can process
Yep.
these transactions through.
Yep.
Because realistically, you just have to send, hey, do this. And Visa's like, okay, we'll send it through our network. And it does it in a fraction of the time. Because the biggest thing is, I don't think this is a end goal result. I think this is just a means to an end. Because realistically, especially nowadays, things eventually just get discarded for something new anyways.
Mm-hmm.
And what better way, I mean, especially due to the fact that, like, I don't know, is altcoins even real big anymore?
Yeah, Litecoin, altcoin.
They are.
Yeah.
All right, so like,
Like
Yeah.
Ethereum right now is somewhere around
Ethereum,
330.
Yeah, and Litecoin's like 18 or so or something like that.
Yeah, and then even XRP is at 40 cents.
and I wouldn't be surprised if like the whole bubble burst last year is part of the reasons why they kind of moved things up. Because there's no way that this was just we were just working on this. They've been working on this for a while.
Oh, definitely. Absolutely.
And that's the other thing is the Speaker Reform. He talked about how there's things missing from the white paper. That's not an accident. They were probably in the original white paper and got omitted for release.
So speaking of the white paper, I'm wondering, like, okay, so we know that with Bitcoin, you have a cap of 21 million Bitcoin, I believe. 21 million? 21 million. So you have 21 million Bitcoin at the upper end. Like, that's how many Bitcoin there will be, right? Do we have a number on how many Libra there will be?
But even if we do, if they don't release the ledger unless you pay in,
Right.
I know, and that's going to be interesting. Like we said, that's going to be interesting too. Nobody except the consortium will be able to confirm.
because it's just like how people talk about the U.S., for example, should just print more money. Well, they have to not tell people that they're printing that money, or else it literally makes the money worthless. They can do the same thing. They literally don't even have to now, since they're like, oh yeah, we have the books. You just pay to see them. And that's the other thing is there's no way that just anyone can just hand the money and join this consortium. It's definitely going to be a very curated list for the first, 100 for the first?
Yeah, I think you said.
And
yeah.
anyone who gets added on, extremely curated. If they weren't in the beginning, it's going to be hard for them to even join on
The
afterwards.
First 100 people with $10 million on the table get in. After that, it's going to be a closed door. But my real question is, it's like on like a Bitcoin, you have the Satoshi, which
Yeah.
is like how finely that coin can be sliced.
Yeah.
Which is going to become really important as this thing gains in value, because it will. So, how finely can you slice it? and still make
Yeah,
it a
'cause
usable
something that's a
currency.
0.000001 now
Yeah,
down the line could be
Yeah.
a couple $100.
yeah.
Fuck, man. I just remember like 4 years ago at DEF CON, somebody wanted me to give them a ride to the conference, and they were going to pay me like 2 Bitcoin. I'm a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, I know. Hey, I'm not as bad as the people who bought a sandwich with like 2 Bitcoin.
I
10.
Or 10, whatever.
at the time, that's what it was worth.
Yeah, sure.
yeah, I know a pizza delivery boy that's a Bitcoin baron.
Yeah, there you go.
Hmm.
So, looks like we need a study.
That's a great song, by the way, Bitcoin baron.
That's the song?
Yeah, YT Cracker.
Oh, wow. But okay, I don't know this. My bad.
Oh, you've never seen him at DEF CON?
I've heard the name actually.
Yeah, he plays at DEF CON almost every DEF CON.
Okay, it's like right after Jackalope, right before Dual Core, or
Yeah.
okay, nice. Okay, so we'll see. We'll keep you posted. But the first half of, or the batch is going to be released in the first half of 2020, according to this article. So you have 6 months to figure out your finances to be a part of this and buy in at $10 million.
Oh yeah, I better go get on that.
Oh,
here we
wait,
go.
more community mic. Cool.
So I forgot because like every time he kept saying something, I was like, oh, I have to talk about that now. So one of my first initial points was they using Libra, the scales, as their name, and it happens to be Facebook, one of the leading social platforms.
Oh, yeah.
I wonder if this is going to be some kind of social currency.
Oh, that'll end well.
I mean,
Oh shit! Yeah,
It's-
like you pissed me off. Like you just get flamed, and then like you lose all this Libra because
because the biggest thing is,
You were
like you
maybe an
said,
asshole
if
with
you
the
lose
money.
access to the platform, you lose access to your money. And for some people, this might become a source of like substantial income. I mean, obviously, probably not at first, but
Yeah, I
down
can't
the
see
line,
Instagram leveraging this at all.
okay, he's obviously
Yeah.
rolling his eyes
Yeah.
there.
No, I mean, but yeah. So essentially, what if this literally becomes like a social worth measurement? Like, oh, you only have 10 Libra in your account. Ugh, I don't want to really do business with you, bud.
You don't take Libra?
We'll see.
It's going to be the new Discovery card, I think.
Oh, are they going to have those cool commercials where you're talking to yourself on the other end of the line?
Oh yeah.
Right?
Frog protection?
Fraud protection.
Yeah, frog protection.
Yeah, fraud
Oh,
protection.
Okay, great.
That's actually my favorite commercial.
It's pretty good.
I think that's like the last commercial
Oh
that's
my
the last
God.
commercial I willingly watched.
Oh my God.
Does that mean you get money laundering? You get 2 Facebook games?
Well, all right. So
that mean-
let him contemplate that one.
Huh.
All right. So another big story that we wanted to talk about today was, of course, NASA.
Oh yeah.
NASA has been hacked.
JPL.
And okay, yes. We'll get to there.
Was it JPL or NASA?
JPL.
Okay, so JPL was hacked. But the headlines, because that's what we care about, right, guys? Am I right? We
That's
care
right.
about
You only
headlines?
read the first 8 words.
Yes. So NASA got hacked by a Raspberry Pi. Because that's what also was in the headlines.
They got
Raspberry
hacked
Pi company?
They got hacked by somebody using a Raspberry
I know,
Pi.
I'm joking. I'm being.
Let's not vilify
I'm joking
tools.
here. No, I'm joking
The
here.
Raspberry Pi company
No, no,
hacked
no.
the shuttle?
So, to my knowledge, the office of
No,
the
shut
inspector, the office of the inspector general, is still
Inspecting?
conducting the investigation. Yes, and
Generally.
so what they did discover though was a Raspberry Pi that was on the NASA network. Nobody knew who it belonged to, and so I believe they're assuming so far. I think they're assuming that that's where it all started.
You know what that means.
Chinese.
Mr. Robot. Oh, and then maybe the Chinese. You know, Mr. Robot, how he put the Raspberry Pi in the.
You don't know the thing about assuming? Makes that
Oh yeah, makes an ass out of me.
You and
Or
me.
You and me. Yeah. Okay. So no, but Vic brings up a good point. Don't vilify the tool. So just because a Raspberry Pi was used,
We
doesn't.
don't. I don't do that to you. Oh, sorry. You were talking about someone else. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. No.
Slow burn.
It
I
was
just
it
got
was
that.
there. It was there. I
Oh,
had to. I had to.
wow.
It was like nectar. It nourishes me. I'm playing.
Punching down again. Then.
Oh,
I'm kidding.
sorry.
I'm kidding.
I feel bad.
I knew that.
I
picture.
reject and denounce myself.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Okay.
No, but so, but Vic does bring up a good point.
Yes.
It doesn't matter how the hack happened. It could have been a land turtle. It could have been another device. It could have been anything. It doesn't matter.
It could have, yeah, it could have been a badger.
Could have.
Yeah, it could have been anything made by Hack 5.
Pineapple?
Yeah, it could have been a pineapple, for fuck's
Oh
sake.
my God.
That's true.
Could-
Yeah, sure. There you go. So, is this really a story, or is this a thing to care about? I mean, yes, we care about NASA getting hacked, but
Well, yeah, they put the the Pi first and NASA second in the story. It's like the fact that NASA and JPL have had some really, really bad decisions made about their network management.
That is really the key.
That is the story, I think.
I agree
That
with
is
you.
the story.
So we're talking about JPL being the Jet Propulsion Laboratory, right?
I hope so, yeah.
Yes. Okay. You thought it was JBL, the speaker.
Yeah, just big
Before
and
the-
loud.
Yeah. Is that what that stands for?
No,
Oh, I don't know.
but that's what they are. They're not good speakers.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, they're not good speakers. They're just big and loud.
Okay, so
Yeah.
okay, I didn't know that. But
Mackey's better anyway.
Vic and I know of a person who knows of a person who maybe at one time, way back when, maybe turned network printers into like a torrent server somewhere.
Yeah, using a Raspberry Pi.
Yeah, or not, or
No,
Or not.
But yeah, there's many network resources that can be accessed, and the sheer, a Raspberry Pi is very cheap.
It's a $35 computer that's the size of a credit card.
And 10 years ago, it would have been a respectable computer. It's probably better than a good percentage of cell phones running today.
Yeah. Wait, you're saying it's not a respectable computer now?
No.
I mean, it's used heavily.
Well, it's got some functionality, and it's not so you're not going to be compressing video with it,
No, of course.
right?
But you could run, of course, command line tools and yeah.
As a hacking tool, it's very useful. It's also useful in a lot of other things.
So before the show, Vic and I were speculating on maybe what could have happened with the Pi. Like maybe it set up some sort of network share that just siphoned off information out of the network.
Sure.
And I think that's pretty plausible. Do you have any theories? Do you guys have any other theories on what could have happened with this thing?
Well, me personally, I'm more interested in why in the hell JPL, why in the hell their networking team didn't spot it. Like, I wonder, is this a thing where they were like, hey, look at all this money we're going to save by shipping all of our network support to somewhere else?
Being in Vegas, I'm just going to roll the dice and say it was contractors.
Huh.
That's what it is.
Contractors.
Huh.
Confirmed from the audience. There we go.
Huh. It's almost as if you hire in a third party just to do a job, they don't really care so much beyond doing the job about they don't care about your company that much. They just care about doing the job.
One of the things I read was that the people doing the work of establishing devices on the network
Okay.
were not properly
Vetted.
vetted.
Because we're talking about a government agency.
The devices weren't vetted. They weren't maintaining a list. Each individual location had their own spreadsheet to be able to maintain a list of devices that was on the
Yes.
network, and it wasn't updated as the devices were added, but probably like once a month, and then they'd forget to do it.
I'll do it later. It's
And
fine.
this is the thing that makes me say contractor.
Yeah.
That those are typical contractor actions.
Yes, they are.
Do you think maybe the Raspberry Pi was like tucked behind the network cables and like not on the rack or like on, but like tucked
So-
behind the? I mean, not that it matters.
Well,
I'm just.
yeah, it probably doesn't matter because nobody walked in there except the contractors.
Yeah.
And then probably the other thing is the Raspberry Pi was being used as remote access because somebody wasn't able to gain access from his home and didn't want to drive the 60 miles in to get it
Oh,
done.
right.
Absolutely.
Because
Yeah.
they still haven't come out and said, hey, this is what was taken. They just said it had access to this amount of data.
So it could have been an unintentional backdoor, or not
Sure, well,
unintentional, but like
It was intentional. But
it was intentional, but not thought of as like a
It
secret.
wasn't malicious. Is what
It wasn't
you're-
malicious. It wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't malicious.
And what's real fun
Maybe.
is since that guy put it in there and presumably no one knew about it, at least as far as documentation, this is pure speculation. But if no one knew about it and that guy got laid off or fired
Or went to a better job.
or went to a better job,
Because he knew how to add a Raspberry Pi to a network.
I bet you he wanted. I bet you he wanted to know where the aliens or where the NASA's keeping the aliens.
we might find that out before too long.
Community Mike.
One of my colleagues worked at JPL for many years, and the way the JPL is working is off of contract research. They're actually not a government organization. They're one for hire. So what probably happened is one of the contract research projects brought in a Raspberry Pi for whatever and forgot about it.
Yep.
And so it's not like somebody maliciously put it in there.
Right.
But once it got in there, those things are very vulnerable. Someone went through, exploited that, and then used it as a launch point because it wouldn't have made the news if it was just, hey, somebody left something behind. Something went out the door. And I think it was the Martian data, if I was reading correctly.
Whoopsie.
Right. It was one of the things that access
Right.
to.
So, and that starts to drift towards nation state,
Hmm.
because those are the types of data that they would want to collect in order to help their burgeoning space program,
Or
or rovers, or
I have,
drones.
I have some facts here from another source. It's not in Discord, but we said the attacker again. These are quoted. This is not me saying it. The attacker exfiltrated approximately 500 megabytes of data from 23 files, 2 of which contained international traffic and arms regulations information related to mass science laboratory missions. This is according to the NASA OIG. So. Maybe this was not malicious. I don't know. This is all interesting. But 500 megabytes isn't a lot. I guess that's all you need to. I know we're talking text files.
Yeah, text files.
We're talking
That's
text
quite a
files,
bit.
so maybe
yeah, they didn't take pictures of stuff
no.
except
Yeah.
on Mars.
I'm telling you, man. They probably have ASCII art of aliens. It's aliens. It's always got to be aliens.
What? And they have ASCII art of aliens?
If it's a text file, if it's not pictures, it's got to be ASCII. Never mind. I'll leave it alone.
64 encoded.
I'll shelf
okay,
that.
Okay, that's true.
I'll
Yes.
shelf that later. Anyway, so any more thoughts on this particular story? No?
Yeah, it's freaking crazy.
I think
Oh, good job, Vic.
I think our government agencies should be held accountable for not securing their data.
I agree. I
I
agree.
think they should be held accountable for that.
Besides, why would you subcontract? Okay, yes.
Why?
Maybe to save
Why?
money, maybe to
Yeah, look at all this money they're saving.
yeah, of course.
Yeah.
They could-
But
well,
yes,
Well,
it's like what
you know how much scientists cost?
Oh God.
we can go down that rabbit hole. No, we can't.
No, don't do that.
No, I'm kidding. But yeah, so this sounds malicious, maybe according to that other source check.
So I actually found the.
I kind of want to see where this goes, but go
I just
ahead.
posted in chat the OIG Inspector General's report on it.
How many pages?
Oh,
A lot.
A lot.
Okay.
Many. Yes.
Wait, so is this still an ongoing investigation, or is this known? Like, is it conclusive?
I literally just started looking at it.
Yep,
But
I'm just
yeah,
asking.
released June 18th, Cybersecurity Management and Oversight at the Jet Propulsion Laboratory. I just put a link to that in the live stream channel.
Okay, so you go ahead and use your time to research this.
Yes.
Uh,
Cool.
so, all right. Any further comments on?
So,
okay.
so that kind of brings it. I agree with you on that, Vic. Like, not only government agencies, but if a company hires contractors, that company should be on the hook if your credit card number gets leaked or your social security number gets leaked. Just saying, oh well, those doggone contractors, oh those rascally
We've resolved the situation by replacing the contract company that we're contracting with.
with another contractor company
Right.
that isn't working right now, presumably because they got fired from another company.
Are we saying contract wars?
So
Right.
it's just like, yeah,
Oh, yeah.
you know, like,
Wars of the contractor.
I have no idea what you just said.
Also, we were having dead air.
Oh,
News.com.
I remember that.
So, all right, guys. So that's all the stories that I've had. Unless you guys want to bring up anything else, we can go ahead to the lightning round, which never
It
is.
way too early for the lightning round, but we can.
Is it? No, because it always takes about this long anyway.
Well, all right, here we go.
All right. So who's going first?
Not me.
I'll go.
All right, Vic, you're going first. Now, for those of you who do not know what the lightning round is, for now, until we find a better news source,
What's wrong with you?
we're going to thehackernews.com. We're going to read these we're going to read these headlines, and hopefully they're not too clickbaity. I'm going to try to censor those out and make sure that we're not reading something about, the 5 security tools you need in your network, like a Raspberry Pi.
At least one.
At least
At
one.
least one. Yeah.
So we're going to read the tweet, we're going to read the headlines, and we're going to give a tweet's length of an
No, no.
opinion on the story.
No, we're not.
No, we're not. It never happens that way. So, Vic, you're going first. Okay, first one. Beware. Playing untrusted videos on VLC player could hack your computer. Welcome back, 1995.
On what, XP?
I'd have to check that. If your
That's
VLC
my
media
answer.
player on your computer. Okay.
This was patched.
We have a good check from the audience that this was patched, but okay.
Oh, okay.
Not on XP.
Yeah.
Nothing's past on
Nothing's
XP
past
anymore.
XP. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. What?
OS2.
There you go. Yeah.
Well, doing anything with any untrusted anything on your computer can open you up to a hack. I mean, like opening an untrusted PDF from somewhere.
What's an untrusted source?
Anyone that I don't know personally, pretty much.
You don't know
So, like,
any
you
of those
don't know-
websites you go
Yeah.
to.
Well, that's a fair point. All right, I'll go.
Yeah, do you know all the websites that you?
But like, well, so like an official company, like if I'm opening like a documentation from Roland or something like that, that I would trust.
Oh.
Is
That's
it
how they
download.com that has like a whole bunch of download links that
Oh.
like 90% of them are ads, right? Download.com? Or
Sure.
something like that?
I think you're thinking shareware.
Shareware. I
Yeah,
don't think I've been to that
shareware.
site.
Yeah, but download.com is by CNET, and most of that stuff, it's like
It used to be okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Oh,
saying.
oh,
It used-
really?
Yeah, dude, if you turn your ad blocker off, actually you don't have one. If you go to No, we learned that last week. Remember?
Yeah, no, I know.
Okay, if you
And
go
I'm
to,
fine.
Go to
Fine.
download.com
All right,
and I
here we
think
go.
like when you're
I
trying
will
to
no
download
longer be fine after this. No,
when you go there,
we go.
there's supposed to be like when you're trying to find a file or a program or whatever.
Yeah.
There's gonna be one legitimate download link, and then everything else is an advertisement with like download buttons.
And a legitimate download link
See it?
is nowhere to be found
Yeah.
until you scroll.
It's like a 10 size font at the fucking bottom.
Yeah. Oh, I hate that crap.
Yeah. So that's there you go. Welcome.
Okay,
Source
so
Forge was like that until they
Oh, SourceForge too. Yeah.
but they got bought up and they're good now.
Oh, okay,
Oh,
cool.
They
Problem
got
solved.
fixed.
Okay, next article.
Not that.
Let's see. This crypto mining malware launches Linux VMs on Windows and Mac OS.
Does it launch it on Linux?
Yeah, it probably could.
But does it?
I don't know. I mean, okay, if it's launching on a Mac OS, I mean that's at least BSD based, so it's some sort of Linux machine.
But why doesn't it say Linux?
Maybe they didn't want Linux twice in the title. I don't know. Thoughts?
It doesn't work on Chromebooks either.
Oh yeah.
That's Linux.
Oh, there you go. So there's maybe an answer. Okay, next one. Firefox 67.0.4 released. Mozilla patches second zero-day flaw this week.
Okay.
Yeah, there's no opinion on this one. I
That
don't think.
happened.
Yeah, that's right. It's Firefox did the thing.
Look, there's
They
a lot
did
of
a
look. There's
thing.
going to be a lot of security patches in this news week, I guess.
Yeah.
Next one, and this shows me a Dell logo
Well,
with
wait,
fire behind
wait.
it.
Firefox got a security patch out, and it hit a news cycle.
I know.
Why though?
Yeah.
I know, guys. Look, I'm trying to find a new news source. Okay, I even tried to automate it. It's not working. Anyway, okay. So security flaw in pre-installed Dell support software affects millions of computers. When was the last time you guys had a Dell?
Pre-installed software, innocence.
Yep. Think Sony.
Yeah. No, thank you. I don't like anything with pre-installed fucking anything.
Just kill it with fire.
Can't stand it. That's another reason why I'm all about the Chromebook.
And that's a legit reason to root a phone. Like Doxy and I go back and forth on like why you don't need to root a phone anymore.
Okay, if you buy another phone, like from another company, okay, fine. But if you just get a damn Pixel, then you don't have to worry about it.
Or a OnePlus 7?
Yeah.
No, then you can just ship all your shit to fucking China. That, like, isn't OnePlus the one
I
that got
did
caught
that
doing
already.
it?
They have that shit since I had the Huawei.
Isn't OnePlus the ones
No,
that
Huawei.
were caught doing that?
Huawei,
Huawei.
dude.
Different company.
You know, I know Huawei is a different company, and I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about OnePlus.
OnePlus 7, they had an authentication server.
In China?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
There,
fuck.
okay.
All right, sorry, dude. You've been vindicated.
Everybody, no, you're stupid.
No, they didn't have a complete backdoor. They just had an authentication server.
Oh, it was just your authentication. Oh, well,
It's kind of just like Facebook only having your money.
yeah.
All right, next one. Important flaw in Outlook app for Android affects 100 million users. Fuck, man. I have that shit installed.
Why?
Maybe I shouldn't have said that out loud because of work. I don't know.
No, you just go to the.
No. You don't need Outlook for Win. No.
Okay, I'll uninstall it. Jesus Christ.
Why would you do that? Just go to the website. Like I have it bookmarked for my work email. I just go to the freaking
That the app has. That's a
Features. There's features. You
that
hear
are
that?
available on my
You hear that? There's
desktop where I
features.
can type with all 10 fingers.
that's the one.
By the way, for those of you in the audience, this is just a reminder.
Oh,
if
yeah.
you're speaking to us from like the corner, we're not gonna fucking hear you. I'm sorry, okay? Because there's a community mic there. Yeah.
If you don't want to be on camera, tell us we can turn
Yeah,
it
we
down.
could turn off the camera. So if you want to head up to the community mic and voice your opinion.
During the lightning round?
Yeah, maybe not so much.
Why not?
But it doesn't matter. Like,
Go
we're throwing shit out the window
ahead.
anyway.
Who cares?
All right, next one. MongoDB 4.2 introduces end-to-end field-level encryption for databases.
What's the overhead on that?
Oh, that would be very interesting. Wait, so for those who know, is this data at rest or data in motion or both?
Both.
Okay, nice. Not both. It's both.
Mongo only pawn in game of databases.
I was waiting for one from you.
Some people got it.
That's me.
Yeah, okay.
Man.
Golf clap.
Thanks.
We got a golf clap
That
for you.
was a slow clap there. That was.
All right, next and last article for the lightning round. Tor browser 8.5.2 released. Update to fix critical Firefox vulnerability. See, oh yeah, so here's the thing. Yeah, I'm wondering. God damn it, dude.
That's the first. Wait. 2 Firefox up.
Yeah, so the Tor browser fixed the first flaw, and maybe they still have to catch up with the second 0 day.
What?
Or maybe it's not a 0 day now because there's a patch.
Same one.
So,
Hey, Firefox QC guys, you're doing great.
well,
They're making the news.
but
Well, that's true. That's
no,
true.
but I'm wondering. Okay, because the Tor browser. Hold on. Because the Tor browser is based off of the Firefox code base, does that make it? I mean, does this really make Tor insecure?
It's Tor isn't secure. What are
Yeah.
you talking about?
I mean, I'm not saying that you pass sensitive shit over it, but
it's just
Well,
it's
that's
just
what
good at
it's
getting past
for.
firewalls.
no, it's not. It's for anonymity.
Anonymity.
I feel like I'm in Finding Nemo.
It's for getting past firewalls.
Finding Nemo. You know where he's. Oh my god. Okay, I gotta stop this now.
Fighting emos?
No. All right, guys. So that that brings us to the end of the lightning round, which brings us to the end of the show.
They don't really fight back. That's the
Hey,
good thing.
Vern, is country music farm emo?
Ooh, that's a good question. Oh, he's gonna think about this one.
Well, now you can make the argument, and I started to make this argument earlier today, that Johnny Cash is the original gangster rapper.
Okay, what's
It's
the
true.
argument?
It's very true.
No, I want to hear this now. We don't have time.
Spoken lyrics, like spoken verses, sung choruses,
Yep.
very rhythmic based. Fought against, was kind of against the man, the original outlaw.
He sung
if you will.
a lot about prison
Sung a lot about prison. Yes, yeah.
and
Okay.
trains. Well,
You convinced me. Oh, and trains.
And trains, yeah.
No, you convinced me. Okay, I got it.
Yeah.
I hear the argument. All right, well, that
You know-
brings us.
you know the first real rapper was, right?
Oh God.
Oh shit, I do, but then Debbie Harry.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's
Okay,
right.
what's this argument? I don't even know who that
That's
is.
the first one that's the first
Rap-
rap song that
rap
hit.
video. Yeah.
No, but also the first one that got to the top 10.
Yeah.
It was I can hear it in my head. What's the name of the song?
It's Martians. Oh God, what is it? Yeah.
Okay, we don't know the answer. We obviously don't know the answer. Yeah, so if you want to find out, you'll Google it, I think. I hope. Yeah, I'm not going to Google it. Anyway, we've run out of time because it is the end of the lightning round. We've run out of time, but never out of shit to say. So join us again next week, like every Friday night at 7:30 p.m. here at the Sin Shop. The address is 1075 American Pacific Drive, Suite C in Henderson, Nevada. Remember, we have Pi Day on the 27th, which is, I think, next week. 28th. It's the 28th. So it's Pi Day. Yes. Go to meetup.com/SynShop for information on the appointments, the meetups, the classes, and the other things that we have going on. Remember to go to synshop.org for more information on the shop. And for information on us, go to Greynoise. That's GREYNOI.SE. Remember, we don't talk shit about Sweden, so we can keep using that domain. Anyway, my name's
I
Master
like
Chen.
IKEA.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's your cue.
Sorry.
My name's Master Chen.
This is Vic.
And I am Richard Satchel.
Oh, good night, everybody.